Hi everybody, how you doing? Good to see you today. It's Beetle Brad time. Yeah. All right, let's get this started. Get situated in me chair. Hey. All right, this is a special video for James Griffin, who's on the VC. Hey James, how you doing? So this video is for you, Mr. James. Just for you. So nobody else watch. Nobody else watch. Just kidding. You all can watch. Come on, come on. It's Beetle Brad. You all like him. You all love him. You all adore him. You all watch. Yeah, okay. I know I'm in a silly, crazy mood today. It's always fun. But anyway, we're going to relax. We got a lot to show, a lot going on. Today is my topic. James did a couple weeks back all about Denny Lane. And I thought, who can I pick on that would be fun? And you know who Beetle Brad came up with? The drummer for Wings, which was, anybody know? Anybody know? Come on now. Come on now. Joe English. Yes, you are correct. Joe English. Good job. John got it right. Okay. So today I am actually doing something that Beetle Brad never does. I've got cheat notes. So I'm going to read off my cheat notes. So if I look down, I'm cheating and reading. So I'll try and do the best I can in reading, and hopefully this will be entertaining for each and every one of you. All right, Joe English. He was born February 7th, 1949. Dun, dun, dun. How about that? He was... I amuse myself. It's just easy to do. I'm sorry. This is a fun channel. For those of you that are my new subscribers, we just have fun. We have a good time, comical laugh, enjoy ourselves, smile and laugh and have a good time, and it's always Beatles and good and fun. I enjoy other stuff besides Beatles. Okay. He was in a band called Jam Factory in New York. New York. Yay. Then, oh wow. Then get ready for this one. He changed out and went to a group called the Tall Dogs, and that was in Georgia. So he got a, in Georgia, wow. Yeah, what a change from New York to Georgia, wow. Okay. Okay, I couldn't read my writing. But then he answered an ad in 1975 in New York to go down to this building. So I can't talk. He ventured down to this building, went down to the basement in 1975, and there stood Paul and Linda McCartney. Oh my gosh, I would pass out if Paul McCartney was standing there with me, wanting to introduce me. And so he did an audition and got in Wings. So we start off, as all of you would know, this is Paul McCartney and Venus and Mars. Joe English is on that as his album. Next up is Joe English is on this one as well. Wings at the Speed of Sound. And Joe actually took the lead for I Must Do Something About It. Which is really cool that Paul had enough confidence in Joe. Here's Joe down here, as you guys know. It's on the back cover of Wings at the Speed of Sound. Must do something about it. So he took lead for that. And he does a great job with it. Joe does a very good job. And then Paul went on the road, as you all know, in Wings at the Speed of Sound. And Joe was very much a part of this. Very much a strong man in the playing of the whole thing with Wings. So we zoom in. So I can zoom in a little bit more. There's Joe. Trying to get the glare out there. Joe English. And then Joe started getting let's see if I got my notes here. Venus and Mars, Speed of Sound, page 2. Isn't this informative? I'm sorry, I'm just having fun. All right, in September of '77, Joe started getting very homesick. He really kind of felt left out in lots of ways and a lot going on. So it was the recording of this album during London Town that Joe got really displeased and really disheartened with the whole thing. I'm zipping through a lot of these because I'm leading up to something else. So Joe left the band during that time. And he went back to Georgia. So he left and went to Georgia. He must have really liked Georgia a lot. And then he joined another band. I'm sitting here looking at my notes. It's always fun to write notes when it's late at night and you can't read. You know, isn't that great? Chuck Lewis. He was in a band with Chuck Lewis, and it was Sea Level. I couldn't read it. I'm sorry. Sea Level was the name of the band that he was in after that, just for a little while. But then, the biggest thing in 1980, Joe English became a born-again Christian and started putting albums out on his own. This is Joe in 1980. This is a fantastic album. If you have not heard Joe English in his albums of these that are his Christian albums, I think you would be absolutely amazed of how good this is. I know a lot of you are skeptical and saying, I don't know, Brad. Yeah, I'm with you with the Beatles stuff and all that other stuff. Hey, start Christian. It's not like Christian you would think today. It's totally different. It's got a rock, really rocky, really good album. Then in 1982, Joe came to this. This was another Joe English album. This was the label he was on for quite a while. He kind of switched off and on different labels. But as you can see, here's the backing of that. Joe English. Sorry, we got a glare there. Anyway, Joe English. And then his next album came out in '83, and this is a very, very rare Joe English 45. And I think Joe learned something from Paul McCartney, because this side is stereo and this side is mono. And this is a promotional copy only. Very, very rare to find Joe English 45s. In the Christian world, you just don't do 45s. They just don't come about like we do in the rock world. So, how many of you have seen Christmas Story? The kid, you shoot your eye out if he gets a BB gun. You shoot your eye out. Come on, let's see if hands. Let's see if hands. Come on, people, put your hands up. For those of you that have seen Christmas Story, I double dog dare you, that was one of the lines that they used, to look this up on YouTube. The song is called Stop by Joe English. This is a rockin', fantastic song. You want to hear a good song by Joe English? And you're thinking, I don't know that much about Joe English. Well, now you are. You're getting to hear it. Okay. All right, being serious once again. Stop. You need to stop and listen to this. So, give a listen to Joe English on Stop. Think I promoted that enough? Think I talked about it enough? I think so. Okay. All right, then in '83, Joe comes out with another album. And this is another great album by Joe English. Another great, great album. By this time, he's got a full band. Joe is touring, making albums. And his albums, like I said, I've got them all except his live album. That's the only one I don't have. This is another good album by Joe English. And then this is kind of like his hit and miss. This came out in '85. This is kind of like Joe English's greatest hits kind of thing. This is a good album. I like this one a lot. This, like I said, has a little bit of a lot of everything. So if you're looking for a good album, his CDs are extremely hard to find. I don't know why, but they are. Well, they're not only hard to find, they're very, very pricey. Very pricey. So, and you see the drum set of Joe, and a little reference there down here to Wings. Talking about Wings so much, I'm probably getting you all hungry. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. All right, '85 was a phenomenal album. Probably Beatle Brad's pick of albums is this album. Oh my gosh, every single song on this album will blow you away. What You Need is the title track, and I seriously think you ought to go look this one up. This is back to Christmas Story again, where I say, you need to go listen to this song. Well, what you need, this is what you need. You ought to listen to this. This is a rock and drum beginning by Joe English, a fantastic album by Joe English. What You Need. Really terrific. And the album on that. The CDs were very hard to get in the 80s, so I pretty much went with the vinyl. And then Beatle Brad did what Beatle Brad does best. I went to go see Joe English in concert. So this is my ticket to go see Joe English. He also sang with a group called Allies. Fantastic concert. I really, lost my pictures here. I really enjoyed him in concert. Joe was excellent. I could understand why Paul McCartney, so I get the glare out of here. I can understand why Paul McCartney took him on the road with him and brought him in as a drummer. He is fantastic. But this is my picture of the concert. It's back in the days when we had film and small pictures. And then Beatle Brad talked his way, which he does and lots of times, as you saw my video about Ringo, talked his way backstage, and I got Joe to sign this for me. So this is Joe English and his band. And like I said, I had Joe sign this for me. So that was really, really great. So you can see Joe there. He's, see, Joe is right here. So there you go. There's Joe, if you couldn't pick him out. Terrific. Just absolutely terrific. So not only did I get him to do that, I brought my album with me. And I even had Joe, there's the band there. I had Joe sign my album as well. And I talked to him about Paul McCartney, a lot of stories about Paul McCartney, which I'm not going to disclose, but he liked Paul, thought Paul was a great guy, but a lot more to it than that. There is Beatle Brad, oh my gosh, back in the 80s, with Joe English. Sorry about the glare. So it's Beatle Brad and Joe English. Isn't that just great? Yeah, pretty cool. And then after that, Joe English came out with a CD. This is from '87. And to me, I don't care for this too much. It's okay. There's one hit on it to where the other albums have got like 2 and 3 hits. But that one, I would pass on. It's not as good. I mean, Beatle Brad, I tell you the truth. So if I tell you to buy an album, it's a good album. If I tell you it's not that good, it's not that good. So, anyway, that one's not as good as some of the other albums he put out. All right, hang in there with me. I know I'm running a little long, so we're wrapping things up here shortly. Let's see, where did I leave off? So then in 2008, Joe English moved to North Carolina, and he was in a church, started being within a church around that time. At this point, he's pretty much quit, because you saw that CD. He pretty much quit playing drums because he got carpal tunnel in both of his arms and couldn't hold drumsticks. So he had a horrible time. I don't know if he went through operations or not, but probably did. But he couldn't hold drumsticks and had a difficult time. But he did sing in his local church in North Carolina. I'm not sure where in North Carolina. And then he was back and forth from North Carolina to Georgia. And then in 2016, he left that church. In 2016, left that church in North Carolina. But Joe English was a very nice guy. Like I said, when I met him, backing up to when I met him, he gave me his home phone number and his address. And at that time, he was living in Tennessee. Yeah, so he was, I don't want to give out locations. But yeah, he was in Tennessee, and I couldn't believe it. The guy just gave me his phone number, and he's like, hey, give me a call, if you want me to come play in your town, or, you want to talk sometime, here's my home phone number. I mean, that's just unheard of today for people to do that, but that was back in 83 that he did that. To this day, I still have the phone number and address and all that kind of stuff, but he's moved out of Tennessee. Like I said, he's in North Carolina. And he's back and forth living from Atlanta to North Carolina. Got my lost thought here. So, anyway, this is kind of where Joe English kind of comes out in a fizzle, because we don't know where George, I keep saying George, thinking George. We don't know where he is of the church. And he's not playing, and he's not really singing, so he's kind of just basically retired and living the life, I guess. So yeah, kind of to end my video, he's just basically enjoying life and still involved in the church. In 2016 is the last I heard about him. So, James, this is kind of my video about Joe English and his band. It was a great run for Joe with all that he did and all the Christian albums and all the wings and stuff, but it kind of fizzled out at the end to where he just kind of disappeared because he couldn't really play anymore. So, who knows? Maybe sometime, somewhere, when they have a Wings reunion, somewhat of a reunion, maybe he'll show up for that. Who knows? But anyway, that is my segment on Joe English and his band. So I want to say hi to my new subscribers. Wow, they have opened up the bus. It's dropped off at Beetle Brad's house, because I've gotten tons of new subscribers. So hello, new subscribers. I want to say thank you for joining Beetle Brad's channel. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. So we'll have lots of fun, lots of videos. Thank you for hanging in to this video. I know it was a little long. Subscribe down below. Let me know what you thought of this segment about Joe English. Did you know anything about Joe English? Or do you have a story to tell me about Joe English and meeting him? Or maybe going to one of his concerts as well. So let me know down below. Comment, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think of this segment of doing Joe English. And as I say, vinyl community, I am out of here. Take care, everybody. See ya.